Hello, I'm Oliver Lewis. I'm Insights Director at Converseer. We're a social listening agency that specializes in working in over 45 languages to develop local insights at a global scale. Today, I'm going to share a case study on how we generated actionable insights from social data to help the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation develop its audience and commercial proposition. The tools we used included social listening platform TalkWalker and the segmentation platform Audience. To give you some context on our client and the challenge, the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation is the governing body of Swiss ice hockey. This includes the domestic cups and leagues and the Swiss national ice hockey teams. The Swiss Ice Hockey Federation was facing with two key business challenges. They needed to understand their audiences at a deeper level to increase sponsor acquisition. Second was to understand and improve audience engagement with the national ice hockey team through social media channels. Our dataset comprised 4 focus areas. We focused on understanding the current fan base's engagement with the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation, explored potentially new fan bases and their commercial values, and brands, industries to look for prospective sponsorships and influencers in their networks. How did we do that? Using TalkWalker and Audience, we deployed 3 methodological approaches: content analysis, audience analysis, and influencer network analysis. Content analysis. First, we analyzed conversations among national team fans, their engagement levels with different content types on Swiss Ice Hockey Federation's own pages to understand whether the right content was being posted at optimal levels. Secondly, audience analysis. We segmented and profiled 2 core audience universes. Those were followers of Swiss Ice Hockey Federation and ice hockey fans who weren't engaging with the national team. This step was all about understanding their behavior, geodemographics, interests, brand preferences, and wider lifestyle insights, and also their content engagement. Finally, influencer network analysis to identify the digital influencers creating the most engaging content and who were most likely to bridge the gap between our 2 audiences. So let's go into a little deeper detail of analysis of the existing fan base and its engagement with the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation. We found that informative social media content about the national team, the national leagues, game results, and players provided by the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation increased the audience engagement. However, their engagement with the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation was passive, so we needed to go a little bit deeper. The current fans' passive engagement with Swiss Ice Hockey Federation, which was 69% likes, contrasted with their more general behavior on Twitter, which was much more active in terms of posting and interacting with others in general. This begs the question then of why this activity didn't transfer to the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation content. To understand this, we needed to focus on how the themes of their own content differed. Swiss Ice Hockey Federation audience interacted with others and posted their thoughts about ice hockey, from the national team performance to sharing their pride in the team. While we looked at the different topics and themes, interestingly, the stadium atmosphere, fans, and analytical review are key topics that we did not see the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation cover, while the fans were vocal in their desire for more media coverage with professional game analysis. Clearly, this is an area that the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation should take note of and leverage. Once we identified key themes, it became possible to identify the gaps and prioritize them based on desire, expectation, and potential for impact. Swiss Ice Hockey's key topic themes are highly focused on the national team, game results, and players, and which are a common theme that both the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation and the audience talk about. However, matching content with fans could increase engagement and reach. It's something more than game results and players. For the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation audience, ice hockey isn't just about players and club rankings, but interactions, stadiums, supporters, experiences, and entertainment. Informative content about the national team, the national leagues, game results, and players provided by the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation increases audience engagement levels, but there is room to promote fan experiences or tap into that passion. They could also look to trigger experience sharing. The Swiss Ice Hockey Federation audience are active social media users who put time into sharing their thoughts and pictures of games, creating memes and interacting with like-minded fans. Content about fans' experiences in a game day is what the audience is excited by and talks about. Finally, club recognition and professional insights are important. The audience also looks for recognition of their own club's performance with professional insights. There is potential to explore club performances with analysis that could fulfill the audience's unmet needs and bring them closer to the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation as a critical content source. Next, we analysed the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation audience and general ice hockey fans, as well as the average Swiss public on social media. This means we analysed and provided in-depth insights, including where to find existing and new audiences, when to interact with them, what they like, the brands they prefer, their preferred media pages, and their purchase influencing factors. We then compared the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation audience with the Swiss average to understand who they are and what makes them unique. The Swiss Ice Hockey Federation audience are avid sports fans into travelling, science, tech, and finance news. They have a keen interest in sports and follow a range of organisations. With an interest in travel, they follow the national tourism organisations and travel magazines which provide all-in-one tourism information. They also have a high interest in automotive, science, finance, and animal welfare. The Swiss Ice Hockey Federation also already had key sponsors in finance and automotive areas, for example, Post Finance, Zurich, Ford, and so on. Where else can Swiss Ice Hockey explore for potential partnerships? Their high interest in sports bridges different interest categories. Auto racing, outdoor clothing, sports gear, and fintech are niche categories and therefore offer sponsorship opportunities. The next few slides dig into the segments that emerged within the different universes we looked at. First, we segmented followers of Swiss Ice Hockey Federation and clustered them and mapped them according to their intensity of interest in hockey and their activity levels on social, who are the most passionate and vocal segments. Expressive enthusiasts are highly vocal with strong passion for the sport. Passive engagers advocate sportsmanship and player safety. They seek excitement and love adventure sports. The casual sports fans, meanwhile, demonstrate interest in all different types of sports and follow star players, but in a lukewarm manner. They have a need for adventure and creative experiences. We provided a summary of each segment's key characteristics, language they spoke, teams they followed, and brands they like. The common characteristics of expressive enthusiasts, for example. They interact with the like-minded ice hockey fans by sharing opinions, pictures, and articles on social media. Regardless of the clubs they support, they respect a fair and exciting game and fan culture. Ice hockey is more than a sport, but entertainment and passion, and it promotes a sense of brotherhood and camaraderie. They often make a trip to the stadium or watch a match from TV. They don't want to miss a sports event, especially derby games or international competition. We then looked at non-followers of the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation, but people still interested in ice hockey, and identified 7 segments within 2 tiers. First, there were the local community fans. These were fans who are dedicated to their local teams first and foremost, and engage in a wide range of topics that affect their communities. Secondly, we saw casual fans interested in leisure sports and fitness rather than watching ice hockey games. They have the intent to watch big sports events which involve star players. They take care of their health and fitness, and they desire to know tech trends. Local community fans were much more engaged with football than ice hockey. They send local clubs their affection and support, driven by a sense of community. In addition to that, their keen interest in pursuing creative experiences leads them to finding local and national events to join, providing a rich opportunity for the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation. The opportunity for the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation therefore lies in getting more involved at local community initiatives, supporting grassroots hockey, and provide resources at a municipal level. This, accompanied by more national team roadshows and on-the-ground events, is crucial for engaging the more provincially minded potential fan. Recognise and appraise enthusiastic fans by commentating or sharing user-generated content. It is likely to turn them into co-promoters of the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation that delivers excitement and the culture of Swiss ice hockey. No matter the game's result, citing a club or player's performance with analysis and insights, which is what this audience is often calling for. The question then becomes, what else could they do to build more active and bigger fan bases? And the answer is really about utilizing influencers and their networks. So finally, we took a look at influencers and their networks. We first looked at the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation network to identify influencers and amplifiers. These are not just content creators, but accounts or profiles that served as bridges between the segments or clustered nodes. We found that the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation's audience influencers are also valuable to general ice hockey fans. Therefore, collaborating with these influencers and utilizing their network can help the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation's effort in expanding its reach and fan base. We also identified the bridging influencers, those people who create content and connect the two audiences. Collaboration with these bridges could strengthen the connection between the two influencer networks. To summarize, we conducted the following analysis: the building of highly targeted audiences from Twitter data and how to map these onto other platforms. Leveraging the social graph and content feeds to understand how to better engage with existing and target audiences. Uncovering primary consumer concerns and unmet needs to address these opportunity areas. Grouping seemingly fragmented consumer clusters by finding commonalities in content and outlook. Identifying key bridges between existing and target audiences. And we did all this in order to create the most engaging and relevant content with the greatest potential for impact to grow the fan base and sponsorship opportunities. Thank you for your time. Please do not hesitate to get in touch if you have any questions about this analysis or any other social insights questions.